Starting the log again. I made it past the statues, or what one could still call statues. Calling them rust piles would be more accurate at this point. My boots are dusty. My throat is dry. But I am still walking. The road bends slightly, and there they are. The two tents. Or, again, what is left of them. 10 years ago, I slept in the left one. I remember it clearly. The canvas was still tight. The smell of old fabric and dust. The faint creak of the wooden poles when the night wind pushed against them. I remember thinking back then that this tent would outlast me. That when I return, I could maybe sleep here again. One more night before continuing my pilgrimage. I was wrong. Of course I was wrong. Everything here proves me wrong. The canvas is torn now, hanging in strips like old skin. The poles are bent. Some have fallen inwards. The whole structure leans to one side, as if it is too tired to stand straight. I do not blame it. I feel the same way most days. The roof sags, and where there used to be a clean line of fabric stretched against the sky, there is now a wound, gaping open, letting the sun and the sand inside without resistance. In front of the tents, the wooden furniture, tables, benches, the things the soldiers used to eat on, to clean their rifles on, to write their letters home on. None of it can be used anymore. The wood is gray, bleached by 20 years of sun and dried by a wind that does not know mercy. I touched one of the tabletops just lightly, and a corner of it crumbled away. Like dry bread, the legs of the benches have split, some have collapsed entirely, and the planks are scattered around as if someone kicked them over and left in a hurry. Maybe someone did. Maybe the wind did it, slowly. Plank by plank, over the years, there is no difference between the two anymore. There is a barrel to my left, an old fuel barrel by the looks of it. The writing on it faded almost to nothing. I can still make out 04 feet, or something similar, but the rest is gone. It leans against a rock, as if it gave up, standing on its own. A dead tree rises behind the tents, its branches twisted upwards, like fingers reaching for something that is no longer there. There used to be more trees here, I think. Or maybe I am inventing memories now, filling the gaps with things that should have been. I step closer to the left tent. The flap is gone, just rotted away, so I do not need to open anything. I duck my head and step inside, and the sand has taken over completely. What used to be the floor, the cots, the small footlocker at the back, all of it is buried under a slow, patient dune that has crept in through every tear in the canvas. The sand is inside the tent like water that found a low place to rest. I can see the top of a cot frame poking out, just the metal corner. The rest swallowed. A bottle half buried. The mouth of a boot, no foot inside it, thankfully. Or maybe there is. I do not want to dig. This is where I slept. Right there, I think. Where the dune is highest, the cot is under there somewhere. I remember the canvas of the cot was green, and there was a small tear in it that I tried to ignore all night. Funny, the things you remember. Not the warmth, not the rest, just the small tear, and how it bothered me. Now the entire tent is a tear, and I find it bothers me less than that small one did. I do not stay long inside. The air is heavy in here, heavier than outside, which should not make sense, but it does. Like the sand is exhaling something old. I step back out, and I can feel grains of it in my boots already. The desert claims slowly, but it claims completely. The second tent, the right one, is in worse shape. The whole front has collapsed inwards, and the poles are sticking out at angles that remind me of broken ribs. I do not go inside. There is no point. Whatever was in there has been buried, and digging it up would only be a disrespect I am not willing to commit. The dead deserve their sand, so do the things they left behind. I sit down for a moment, on a rock, not on the benches. I am not foolish enough to trust them. I drink a sip of water. It tastes like the canteen, which tastes like metal, which tastes like everything else here. I look at the tents. I try to remember the soldiers. I cannot. I never knew them. As I said, I slept in their tent 10 years ago when it was still standing, and I told myself someone had probably slept there before me too. And that was enough of a connection. Now, no one will sleep here again. The tents have 1 or 2 more years, maybe before the wind takes the last of the canvas, and only the bent poles will remain. Then those too will fall, and the sand will cover everything. And there will be nothing left to mark this place. Just a slight rise in the desert, a quiet bump that no one will ever question. I should keep moving. She's still ahead of me. She's been waiting 20 years now. What is another hour? But I sit a little longer anyway. The sun is past midday, and the shadows of the dead tree are beginning to stretch. I do not want to be here when the light starts to fail. The tents look bad in daylight. I do not want to see them at dusk. Standing up now, my knees complain. Everything complains here. The tents, the wood, my body, the wind through the torn canvas. We are all just sounds the desert makes on its way to silence. I need to find a place to sleep. I think a cave may do. Ending the log for now.